Adjustmental. Adjustmental.
Let me tell you, if you are not a conspiracy theorist by now, it's because
you are not intelligent.
They wasn't ready for this back then. They probably not ready for it now. Those that sleep forever gonna be sleep. Those that woke, woke. Yo soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru. Wait, what? De Tupac Amaru. Tupac.
Yeah, you are now rocking with the best. It is approximately 4:36 local time. We are at an undisclosed location somewhere around the world. And today is August 10th, a very special day. Now, first and foremost, let me salute each and every one of my brothers and sisters that tap in, support the channel in one way or another. Help us out. It goes a long way simply by dropping a like, dropping a comment, subscribing, sharing to a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. I mean, there's a lot of ways to support. Very surprising to me that we are nearly reaching 100 subscribers. Yes, that would be a milestone. You know, every day is a special day. Every day is a treat. Every day there's goals to meet. There's work to be done. There's milestones, you know, even if it's small. You know, I had some of those earlier today. And I know it's been a minute, but I wanted to drop this video a while ago, but life be lifing. So, things got to be postponed, but the videos is out there. So all you got to do is go watch some of the videos because, they're timeless. Speaking of timeless, the topic of the day is age is not in our DNA. Yeah, let me repeat that. Age is not in our DNA. You see, aging is a mind control program. Now, if you know anything about mind control programs, this is real serious business. This is things that we talk about here on this channel a lot. We have a playlist on mind control programming. We haven't even touched the MK Ultras, but that's coming sooner or later. So aging is a mind control program. It is a lie that people die of old age because the age of our DNA in the cells do not exist. You see, cells in the body are constantly being renewed, even in the elderly. I fight constantly with older people and the elderly, and they buy the lie. They bought it a long time ago. It's not our fault. You got to remember that this program has been going on for a long time. That's why we bang on the beast on this channel. And I hope to God that you out there are banging on the beast too, because we all need to bang on the beast. But you got to understand that banging on the beast, we're never going to get rid of it. The only thing that you should try to accomplish in this realm is not to get eaten up. It's not to be getting graped without the G. It's about standing strong on your beliefs and your principles. Not the BS principles that we used to think about the black or a color or a turf or a gang or, not them. That's when you was lost in the sauce, like I was. See, there are many errors in cell reproduction, but there is always a biological/emotional reason for our death. See, our death becomes biological/emotional. That's why you got to control your emotions. Too many people get triggered. They say the only thing worse than an emotional woman is an emotional man. It's not a good look. I just got a little puppy and I got to train him so he can control his impulses. It's a lot of work to be done on a lot of angles. A lot of people ain't cut for this. That's why I stay away from many, because many talk a good game. But to bang on the beast, man, this is a 24-hour job. You got to be ready for everything. My motto is for the future, no days on alert. If you got the same models, we on the same goal. You are not the ops. A lot of people need to be reborn. A lot of people need to have a literal death and come new. I've done it many a times, and I'm still doing it now. Kind of like the chrysalis, you know, the caterpillar and the butterfly. You know, one thing about the caterpillar and the butterfly, that you're never going to see the caterpillar and the butterfly at the same place at the same time. Nah, you're either that caterpillar or you that butterfly. And when that butterfly is in the process of becoming that butterfly, it's suffering, it's work, it's transforming. Just recently, I seen the whole process. I had some a passion fruit vine. And I was happy to see the passion fruit vine grow, and it was just growing abundantly. And then seeing the flowers is beautiful. And then, you know, my significant other seen some worms. She wanted to kill them. You know, they were eating all the leaves. You know, I did some research and I found out that these were soon to be butterflies. So I had to, you know, call a cease and desist, you know, told her to retreat. You know, she wanted to, you know, have the fruit. I did too. But I also wanted to see these fritterly butterflies. These caterpillars only eat the passion fruit, the leaves. That's it. That's all they eat. They don't eat nothing else. So I seen the whole process. I might post some videos or pictures, you know, so you guys, if you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful thing, this process. So that what we're talking about, that this realm, that's all we got to do is stay alive, work hard, and not get gobbled up. You know, not be another like the other one, you know, that just came here to work, pay bills, and die. Now, it's about development, growth, change, transformation, success, love, wisdom. We on a different time over here. And if you listening to this here, then you're on a different page too. Because you could easily be on some sports or entertainment. But if you're here with me listening, then you just might be a luminary, a hero, a bringer of change to this realm. But remember, you know, I just recently kind of figured it out. It's kind of like, you know, in high school, you know, what the age, you know, in freshman, you're 14. So, you know what time it is. Then, you know, sophomore, you 15, you know, junior, you 16, senior, you know, you 17. And that's what it is. That high school, you have to go through that process. You're not meant to change that process. It is what it is. The only thing that you shouldn't let happen is, you know, you getting used and abused, getting thrown in the locker like many did. You know, I ain't going to say where I was at that time and place because, you know, like I said, just like many, I was lost in the sauce. I didn't have no real guidance in this realm. That's the reason why I put things out now, because if these videos come through your timeline, through your algorithm, and you decide to click on it and it rings a bell, I talk to the soul. I'm not trying to get entertainment views, you know. This is work. Me doing these videos is work, and maybe the other person, you listening on that side, is work. It's listening, because listening is work. Listening is a skill and an art, and many don't got it. So, you know, it's a biological and an emotional reason for our death. It is not easy for a person to die so that the heart and the lungs stop working. You got to understand that the body, it wants to keep living. But in this realm, especially the elites and the powers that be, the ones that's feeding us all this BS, they're having it their way. They're making money off us. And they look at us like, you ungrateful MFs. We feed you. We give you Kellogg's. We give you Frosted Flakes. They're great. We give you sports entertainment. We give you WrestleMania. What more do you want? All we ask from you is for you to go to work, pay your bills, and be happy. But no, everybody want a revolution. Everybody want to wake up. So, you know, they have their perspectives. I understand their perspectives. You got to study the enemy. A lot of work to be done. A lot of people don't understand, let alone overstand. And many will never understand. People do not die of old age or of disease, dis-ease. People die of emotional conflicts that lead to the aging and later to death. There is no age for our DNA. We create limits with the years our bodies die. We create these limits. That's the difference between, many old folks say, well, when you're young, you have an advantage. The only advantage that I've seen that a young child, a young person, a youngster has, they're not limiting themselves. You see, an old timer says things like, well, I'm old already. I can't learn all this stuff. And that's where, all these problems arise. Did I tell you that I appreciate you? Because I do. And if no one else has told you, I did it right here, right now. So let us continue. Aging comes from negative thinking and from a low vibration state of dominance. If we do not have the limiting belief that it is normal to age, then we will not age at all, or at least not at the pace that aging is normal. You see, me, I don't celebrate birthdays like that or solar returns. I tell my closest loved ones, happy solar return, happy birthday, if I have access to them. If not, I just, put it out to the ether so they can feel it. You see, our skin renews itself every 3 months. I don't know if many know that. Obviously, you got to have ideal or optimal conditions like, your diet. You can't expect for your skin to be renewed if you don't drink water. You're just going to be dehydrated looking like a prune. You're going to be 20 looking like you 40. Many people do. Your blood renews every 6 months. The lungs are renewed every year. The liver recovers every 18 months. The brain completely restores itself every 3 years. The skeleton fully regenerates in 10 years. Every muscle and tissue regenerates in 15 years. Even our personality is renewed every 7 years. That's why from 0 to 7, that's a phase. From 7 to 14, that's another phase. From 14 to 21, that's another phase. 21 to 28, 28 to 35, etc. See, if we knew these things from a real small age, we would not be thinking or doing the things that we do. But that's why many of us at a certain age or certain point got to wake up and change and just do a complete 180 about face. And for some people, it's a rude awakening. We must ensure our rebirth in every way. See what I was saying at the beginning? I've had many rebirths, but to have a rebirth, to be born again, you have to die. We must ensure we must be born again in every way, with food, with air, with water, and above all, with the thoughts and information about ourselves. You see this right here, this channel, this message right here today, what you listening now, you might not be listening to the newest, edition. You might be listening to this 5 years later when it was recorded, maybe even later. But like I told you, this information is timeless. And each one teach one. If you understand what I'm talking about, then pass it on. One person teaches another. 1 teaches 2. 2 teaches 4. 4 teach 8. But it's work, beloved. A secret that is carefully hidden from us is that our DNA does not contain data about our aging. The aging program is created solely by us in our minds through our beliefs and beliefs acquired in the environment in which we were born, raised, and live. Now, understand that when it says, made by us, it ain't talking about me and you. It's talking about, these masters of the universe, the ones who set everything in place. Like many people don't even understand why we say the things that we do. We just, we at a young age, we understand, oh, that's called this. That's called this. That they told us that that's what it's called. And we just bought it. Well, similar to what's going on right here. We are so ingrained in believing that this is a normal way to live, age, and die. Fortunately for us, me and you, and your cousin too, the reality is completely different. It's no secret that when we are lost in the past, we always look forward. And it's really important to put the past behind us and move forward, living and changing the present in our mind, in your mind. But you know, I'm not here to appease everyone. That's why I'm surprised that we're almost to 100 subscribers. That's huge to me. I never thought I'd reach 100 subscribers, you know, because I'm just here as a messenger, a bringer of truth. I'm just telling my perspective. Thank you, beloved, for coming, listening. I hope I made my point. I hope I made it short and sweet. I am in the process of making some tea. I'm going to go check on that. You check on your business and then come check me out later. Peace, beloved. Remember, be strong. Bang on the beast. Till next time.
I know you've been patiently waiting, miseducated, anxiously aching for a blue eye to say it, but I'ma do you a favor. Unlearn what you've learned. The roof is on fire, let that motherfucker burn. Babylon's on fire. The devil's a liar. They know that they time's up. So rise up and rise up.